everyone, welcome to another episode of the StreamYard 101 webinar. I am your webinar host, Kelsey, and I work at StreamYard as the Senior Customer Success Manager. So I am working with StreamYard users and clients and just helping them get the best possible experience with the StreamYard platform as possible. So part of my role at StreamYard is every week I go live and I give a StreamYard 101 webinar, which is basically just a super in-depth review of the StreamYard platform where we explore all of the features of StreamYard and the things that set it apart from other platforms. And most importantly, I take all of your live questions. So everyone that's tuning in now, if at any time during the broadcast you have any questions about the StreamYard platform, this is a perfect time to drop them in the comments section, and I will do my best to answer every single question that you guys have. This hour is really dedicated to you. As StreamYard users, I want to give you the most insight and the easiest time using the platform as possible. So just let me know what you need in the comments, and I will be sure to go over those things or answer those questions or whatever it might be. Thank you for tuning in. Those of you who are already with us, feel free to drop a comment to say where you're tuning in from. We love to see how global our StreamYard audience is, because there really are users all over the world, which is so cool. I am broadcasting this live from New York City, so hello to my fellow New Yorkers. Okay, so before we get started, I'm just going to give you an overview of the hour so you know what to expect, a little agenda, if you will. So first I'm going to talk just a little bit about the StreamYard platform. If you're new here, if you just signed up, I'm just going to talk a little bit about introducing the StreamYard platform to you. We'll talk a little bit about live streaming as a concept, talk a little bit about equipment that's needed, and then after that we will jump into the StreamYard Studio, and I'll actually share my screen and go through all of the features of StreamYard, how to use it, where everything is inside the broadcast studio, so you get a really clear visual on how to use the platform. Then at the end of the hour, I will dedicate around 10 to 15 minutes for questions, like a dedicated Q&A session. So if I miss anything during the broadcast, any questions during the broadcast, feel free to put them again in the Q&A section at the end of the broadcast, where I will be sure to answer them. But that being said, I love to answer questions along the way as they come up, so I'll do my best to do that, and be sure to drop comments whenever. Okay, so that being said, let's just jump right in. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I see Dr. Beverly Tillman. Thank you for being here from Chicago. I love it. Hey, Lola. I love it. The Mirror from Switzerland, from Serbia. Hello. And I see someone from Jamaica as well, Sherida. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we are very global, which is super exciting. All right, let's go. So the first thing I like to talk about is, what is StreamYard? StreamYard is the easiest way to create professional live streams. And the reason that it's the easiest is because there is no software download necessary. So it's super easy on your device because you don't have to download anything. It's not an app. It's not like a plugin or anything like that. It's just a website. So you open your browser and you go to StreamYard.com, and that's it. So it really does make it super easy to access the platform, and you can use it on virtually any device that you have. The other thing that's really great about browser-based streaming is that the majority of the quote-unquote heavy lifting is done on StreamYard servers. So we are doing the most work, and your computer just has to, make sure you are connected to the internet, and that's basically it. So you can produce really, really high quality streams because the majority of the heavy lifting is being done on StreamYard servers. The next thing I like to talk about is just live streaming in general. Like, what's the point of live streaming, and why would I live stream versus other types of video content marketing? The example that I like to use to answer this question is if we think about a traditional YouTube channel, right? A YouTuber posts videos on their channel, and you may not think about it, but there are a ton of steps in a traditional like video content marketing platform, because, you know, first you have to come up with the idea, and then you have to actually film your content. Then you have to upload all of your content onto your computer, into your editing software, and then you have to take time to splice it, to add your graphics, your logos, your lower thirds, you know, edit out the beginning and the end or whatever, and that takes a lot of time. And then finally, when you're done editing it, you have to export it onto your computer, upload it onto the YouTube platform, and then you have to keep returning to that video to see your viewer responses, right? To check your comments, to respond, etc. So that's a ton of steps, and it takes a lot of time. But with live streaming, you can actually cut out a bunch of those steps, and it saves you a ton of time. Because everything's happening while you're live. So you can preload all of your graphics and your lower thirds and your logos into your StreamYard account, which I'll show you how to do when we get into the studio. And then once you're live, you can add, you know, your logo, your lower thirds, your banners, your graphics, anything you want, as well as you can interact with your live viewers on the spot. So when people are watching your videos and they're making comments on them, you can engage with those comments while you're live, instead of having to, you know, continuously return to your video to see who's engaging and who's liking it and who's commenting. You can do everything while you're live. So it just saves a bunch of time, and I think that the viewer engagement piece, like knowing that all of you are watching this at the same time as I'm doing it, there's something really special in that, right? Because you're able to connect with your audience in real time and show the comments on screen. That's probably my favorite part about StreamYard, is showing these comments on screen. Hey Arlette, how can you go live with StreamYard? Well, this is the StreamYard 101 webinar where I'm going to show you start to finish how to create a live stream and go live using StreamYard. So you are in the right place, and stay tuned. Nina says, I wish I was in Jamaica. Yeah, me too. We had a 36-degree morning here in New York, and I thought we were doing spring now, but I guess not. Okay, last thing before we jump into the studio, I'd just like to touch on equipment a little bit. And the reason I like to talk about this is because you really don't need very fancy equipment to create really professional streams with StreamYard. Because, going back to what I said before about the browser-based streaming, because there's no software you have to download, most devices can run StreamYard super easily. So even if you don't have a high-powered computer, but you have a mobile phone, you can do StreamYard on your mobile phone. You can live stream from your mobile phone or your tablet or your Chromebook, you know. You can use whatever you have to get started. And I like to emphasize this because I think that maybe for some people, equipment or lack thereof is what might keep them from getting started in the video content production or live streaming production realm. But I just like to emphasize that it's really not necessary to have super expensive equipment to create really awesome live streams on StreamYard. When I got started, I just was using my MacBook and the built-in camera and the built-in microphone, and that's it. Since then, you know, I've upgraded and I now have an external webcam and I use an external microphone. And I've added some lighting, you know, different elements to enhance the streams. But to get started, just jump right in. That's what I like to encourage people to do, because it's more about the content that you're streaming versus the production element, right? I think gaining a community and gaining viewers is more about what you're streaming about versus how your stream looks. So I just like to touch on that a little bit. All right, let me just check the comments. Oh, okay, good question. Gordana says application is on smartphone, it's okay. So we don't actually have a StreamYard application yet. So even if you are joining from your smartphone, everything's done in the browser. So if you're on an Android, you want to use Chrome or Firefox browser. And if you're on an iPhone, just use Safari. All right. So that being said, let's just dive right into the studio. That is enough talking, and I want to do a little showing now. And again, feel free to drop your questions at any point in the comment section, and I'll try to keep my eye there so I can answer them in real time. All right, I already have one from Lola. Hello, Lola. How do I use my mobile phone as a camera and link to my laptop? That's a great question. There are a couple ways you can do this. One is you can send a guest invite link to your phone. So you have your stream open on your computer and you send an invite link to your phone, and then you open StreamYard on your phone and set your webcam up as your webcam. And then you can use the audio from your laptop and the camera from your phone. Just make sure to mute the volume on your phone so you don't get a feedback loop. And I believe we do have a couple of videos and tutorials on this very thing that we can post in the comments for you to check out. The other way is there are a couple of mobile apps you can download that actually turn your phone camera into a webcam. And then you can connect that to your broadcast. Okay. One more question before we jump in. Can you do recording on local computer? So you can do record only streams on StreamYard without live streaming to a destination. However, you do have to have a solid internet connection to create high quality recordings. So it's not necessarily local on your computer. Like you do still need to be connected to the internet to do recordings. But you can do record only streams without sending it out live. All right, so here we are in the StreamYard dashboard. So on the left-hand side, I have clicked on destinations. So the destinations is where you're streaming to, where you're sending your live stream. And we have a multitude of destinations that you can connect to your StreamYard account in order to live stream to those places. So you see a bunch of options here. We have a Facebook page, Facebook group, Facebook profile. You can stream to Twitch. You can go to LinkedIn page, event, and profile. You can stream to your YouTube channel, and you can stream to Twitter, which is through Periscope, the live streaming tool. Now, if you don't see your preferred streaming platform, what you can do is you can connect that via the custom RTMP tool. So if I'm streaming, for example, if I want to stream to Vimeo, I can stream to Vimeo via the custom RTMP tool. And what happens there is you collect the RTMP streaming details from that platform and plug them into StreamYard as a custom destination, and then you can easily stream there. Okay, so for today, I'm going to show you how to connect a Facebook profile. So just click Facebook profile, and it brings you to this page where you can choose which one you connect. Now, it should automatically recognize the account that you are logged into on your browser. So my producer's helping me with this screen share. So that's why you see Dana Bentz. And she is logged into her Facebook profile on her computer. So when she goes to connect the Facebook profile, StreamYard recognizes, oh, that's the profile we want. So all she has to do is click on that, and then you get this green message that says your Facebook profile is connected, you're all set. So she goes back to destinations, and there she sees her Facebook profile is connected along with all of the other pages and channels that she has connected prior. I assume Hopin or other virtual event platforms fall under custom. Great question, Nina. Yes, so at the moment, the way to stream to Hopin is via that RTMP tool. So you get the RTMP details from your Hopin event, and then you plug them into StreamYard, and then you're able to stream there. Now, we do plan on adding a direct integration with Hopin, as they are our parent company. We recently got acquired by them, but for the moment, the Hopin streaming is via the custom RTMP tool. Okay. So Dana is on her destinations list now, and it's important to note that you can have a lot of destinations connected to your StreamYard account, and then when it's time to go live, you can choose where you want to stream to. So if you have different events that need to go to different places, you can have all of your channels connected, and then at the time you go live, just select which ones you want to send your stream to at that given moment. Okay, let's go to the broadcast tab on the left-hand side, and we will create a broadcast. So here we have all of our upcoming broadcasts. So these are broadcasts that are either currently live, like the one at the top. That is the StreamYard 101 webinar, and that's the broadcast studio that I'm in right now doing this webinar with you. And then there are also a couple other broadcast studios that Dana has created that she hasn't yet gone live in. So they automatically save in her broadcast dashboard, which is really handy because you can set a broadcast up ahead of time and then leave it and come back to it when it's time to go live. So all you have to do to create a broadcast, we have a question, how to broadcast simultaneously on an online radio. So if you're able to get an RTMP and stream key from your radio channel, you will be able to stream there. However, I'm not sure if most radio stations are able to do that. I'm trying to think what might be the easiest way to do that. You might consider streaming your live stream first and then downloading the audio track of that live stream, which is possible on StreamYard, and then sending it to your radio station. And I'll show you how to download your audio track from your live stream in a little while. So tune in for that. Okay, so we're going to create a broadcast. So all you have to do is click this blue Create a Broadcast button there at the top. Yes, and then you can choose where you want to stream to. So remember that destinations list we had from before? This is the same thing, but just in bubble version. So you're seeing the profile icon of each destination. So this is where the multi-streaming tool comes in as well. If you are on either the basic plan or the professional plan on StreamYard, you have the ability to choose multiple destinations to send your stream to at the same time. This is what we call multi-streaming. So Dana is selecting she's clicking on all of the destinations that she might send her stream to. And so she's clicked on Facebook, she has a Facebook page, a Facebook group, she's selected her LinkedIn account, and then she also has YouTube selected there. So if this were, the destinations she's selecting, those are the places that her stream would be sent all at the same time, which is very handy because then you can reach a very wide range of audience. For the purposes of today, we're just going to stream to YouTube for this demo video. So she'll just click to unselect or deselect all of the other channels that she has clicked on. Perfect. So we'll just leave YouTube highlighted. Now she can put in a title and a description for her event. And then with YouTube, the reason I like to do YouTube in this example is because YouTube provides a really awesome privacy option for your streaming. You have 3 options in terms of privacy. You can either stream public, which is, everyone can see it, it lands on your YouTube channel, it's searchable. Or you can do private, which means that only you can see it. It will stream to your channel, but it won't be viewable by anyone. So private is a great way to test your live streams if you want to go live, but you don't want anyone to see it. Private's a great way to do that. Now, my favorite level is unlisted. Unlisted means it streams to your channel, but it's not viewable by anyone unless you send them the direct URL viewing link. So unlisted is a great way to mitigate your audience if you want to have a semi-private broadcast or you want to be able to control who watches your content. You can stream unlisted and then send the people who you want to watch the link to watch. So we're going to select that unlisted privacy option. And finally, you can choose to schedule your broadcast for later. And so you just click that checkbox. And you can choose the scheduled start time and start date, and you can also upload a thumbnail image to accompany your scheduled broadcast. The reason that scheduling for later can be really handy is because when you do the schedule for later option, it creates a holding page on your YouTube channel that basically says, Dana plans to go live at this time, at this date. And it is accompanied by that thumbnail image that you post with it. And so it creates that holding page on YouTube, which allows you to send the link to all your viewers in advance. So it's great for marketing purposes because you can send the direct link to where your stream will be going way ahead of time. Now, it is important to note with the scheduling feature, this doesn't mean that your broadcast is going to go live by itself at this time and this date. It still requires you to return to the broadcast studio at that time, at that date, and actually click to go live, right? It's not just going to launch without you, But when you schedule for later, that just creates that holding page on YouTube and the broadcast studio in advance. So you can send the viewing link to your audience, you can send the guest link to your guests, all in advance, and it really helps with marketing your stream. Is it possible to schedule, stream, and create and share a link with guests in advance? Yes, that's exactly where I was going. So once you create the broadcast, so we're all set, we're going to create that broadcast. It creates a broadcast studio, and then you can send your guest link to your guests. So on the right hand side, we'll just click those 3 dots, and there's the button to invite a guest. So if you click on that, it generates a guest invite link, and this is the link that you'll send to your guests. And you can send that link to your guests in advance. In fact, I would recommend sending it to them in advance so that there's no last minute confusion when it's time to go live. And it's as easy as that. So once you have created your broadcast studio, you can immediately send that guest invite link. Okay. Let us enter the broadcast studio. So we'll just click that Enter Broadcast Studio button. And then we're brought to this landing page where you can check your camera and your microphone before entering the broadcast studio. So Dana's camera is obviously working because we can see her. Her mic is working because she sees that green bar go up and down when she talks. So that means StreamYard is detecting her mic. And then she can change or edit her display name down below. And then once she's satisfied, she can just click to Enter Broadcast Studio. Lola has a great question. If you record under private, can you then make it public after broadcast is over? Yes, and that is all done on the YouTube side. So if you do stream privately to YouTube, you can just go to your YouTube channel settings and change the settings to public or unlisted, whatever you want. But you do have that control to change the privacy of a broadcast after it's over. Okay, so Dana has now entered the broadcast studio. So she has popped down into the bottom left corner, and you see her in her little thumbnail image. Now, you enter the broadcast studio in the quote-unquote backstage area. So Dana is not a part of the stream yet. She has that message that says you are not part of the stream. Click to add your audio and video. So if she wants to add herself to the main screen, she just hovers over her thumbnail and clicks. And then it pops her onto the screen. Now it's important to note she's not live yet, so she's just inside the broadcast studio, she's setting things up, she's sort of seeing how everything works, and nothing will go live until you click the big blue button in the top right corner to go live. So you can be inside the broadcast studio, setting things up, etc., you know, putting your branding together, and no one can see you because you're not live until you click that button. All right, so I'm going to go through the controls on the right-hand side. So you see there are 5 buttons on the right-hand side, and this is where the majority of the customization and control happens inside the StreamYard Studio. So the first button on the right is the comments button. Now this is the section where all of your live viewer comments will filter into the StreamYard Studio. The comments made from Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, and Periscope will all automatically filter into this comment section, so you can see them all at once on that right-hand side. And so Dana's going to make some comments on her test YouTube, and we'll see them filter into the studio here, and then we'll be able to give you a good visual of that. But for the moment, there is an example comment. So the StreamYard has an example comment just to show you what that looks like. And when you click on the comment, you can show it on screen. So that example comment says live viewer comments show up on StreamYard. And this is the same concept as the comments that I'm showing from you guys right now. So I'm seeing in the studio that I'm in, I'm seeing all of your YouTube comments filter into the studio, and I'm able to click on the ones that I want to display and interact with them in real time. Okay, so Dana's test comments have come through now, and you can really get that visual of what it looks like when the comments from your YouTube channel filter into the studio. And you can click to display and click to remove comments from screen, but you don't have to. If you are doing an event or a broadcast where you feel like you don't really want to interact with your viewer comments, just leave that section alone. You don't have to display anything on screen. Nothing will display on screen automatically. It's just for you to see on the right-hand side, and if you want to interact with them, you can. but it's not necessary. Okay, the next section on the right-hand side is the banner section. Now this is where you can create lower thirds and add them to your stream. Let's go to the banners section. Okay, so we have a bunch of banners already created here, but what you can do is you can scroll to the bottom and click that Create a Banner button, and then you just enter your text that you want to display, click to add the banner, and then click to display it on screen. And then you can see it shows up on the bottom of Dana's screen as a lower third, which is just, it adds a level of dynamic to your stream. So if you have a guest that is just joining you for the first time, you might display this banner that says, Gage and Dan join us live, which is just a great way to add some elements to your stream, and it looks really cool. The other thing that's cool about banners is you have the option to either display them solidly and statically, or you can have them scroll across the bottom of your screen like a ticker. So if you create a banner and type in your text, you can check the box, see on the bottom right-hand corner there, that says scroll across bottom as a ticker. Then when you add the banner and click to display it, it will just scroll continuously across the bottom of your screen, sort of like they do on the news, which I think is really fun. So this is very useful if you have a website that you want to display sort of throughout your live stream. It's a great kind of like non-impact way to display information without it being too intrusive on your broadcast. Is there any time limit of live streaming? That's a great question. So it depends on two things. It depends mostly on the destination that you're streaming to. Some destinations will cut you off after a certain amount of time. For example, Facebook has an 8-hour limit per stream. So if you go past the 8-hour time limit on Facebook, it'll just stop. It'll stop. On YouTube, I believe the limit is 12 hours. And each destination has a different streaming limit. Now, in terms of StreamYard, if you're on the free plan, you do have a time limit per month. So we give you 20 hours of free streaming per month. But if you are on either of the upgraded plans, you can stream unlimited time. However, it's important to note that StreamYard will only record a certain number of hours of your live streams. So on the basic plan, StreamYard will record the first 4 hours of every broadcast you do. And it'll allow you to stream longer than 4 hours, but on the basic plan, it will just stop recording at that 4-hour mark. So that's important to note. And then on the professional plan, StreamYard will record the first 8 hours of any stream you do. So if you want to have a 16-hour stream and you want to record the whole thing, I would recommend piecing it into 2 separate broadcasts so that each 8-hour section gets recorded by StreamYard and you can download that content afterward. Whew, that was really long-winded. I'm sorry if that was confusing, and we can clarify that in the comments anytime for you, but I hope that that was helpful. Okay, moving on. So we did the banner section. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just a really great way to add some, dynamic or emphasis to your broadcast. The next section on the right-hand side is the brand tab. Now, the brand tab is where the majority of your customization will come in. So it's super fun inside of here because you can choose your colors, your themes, you can upload everything. So I'll go through it one step at a time. The first thing is the brand color. So you can select the color of your broadcast, and this affects the way that the banners look, the display names, and the comments. So see how Dana's changing the color, and you see that the banners that she has are changing. So you can really brand your stream by choosing a color that is coherent with the rest of your branding. So Dana's gonna choose that purple color, which is fun. Now the next section is the theme. So you can also partially customize the way that your content displays, in which there are 4 themes. So this also affects the way the banners, comments, and display names look. So we'll give you a sample of that. Dana selected the bubble theme for now, but there's also a minimal theme. And watch how that changes the way the banners look, or default, or block. So each one has a slightly different font, it has a different vibe, it has a different appearance. Anna says it matches her backlighting. Yes, it sure does. And see, that's a great example of creating a stream that's super cohesive, right? So Dana is deliberate with, having her lighting match her branding, and look how it brings together her broadcast in a way that's so visually appealing. So I'm glad you brought that up, Anna, because that's a great way to utilize the branding within StreamYard to really maximize the appearance of your stream and make the visuals really strong. Okay, so that's the theme. Yeah, that's also pretty self-explanatory. You just pick the one that you feel fits the vibe of your broadcast the best. The next section is the logo section. So if you're on the free plan, you do have to display the StreamYard logo. So you get this Powered by StreamYard duck logo in the top right corner. But if you choose to upgrade to the basic or pro plan, you can upload your own logo and replace the StreamYard logo with your own. So Dana has a bunch of other StreamYard logos that she's uploaded for, live streams, webinars, stuff related to StreamYard. But if you have a business or a brand and you have your own logo, that was where you will upload it. And it just sits in the top right corner of your stream. And it enhances your branding once again. You can also upload a GIF as a logo, which Dana is showing right now. Yeah, okay, moving on. So the next section is the overlay section, and this is where you can upload graphics and also transparent graphics, which are cool. So the first one Dana has displayed is the Live with StreamYard graphic, which is just an example that is in all of the StreamYard accounts. This is where it says Live with StreamYard on the top left and StreamYard Live Show at the bottom right. That's an example of a transparent overlay. So you could design a transparent overlay in an editing software outside of StreamYard, download it as a transparent PNG, and then upload it as an overlay into your StreamYard account. Now you can also upload solid graphics too if you want to have like a solid graphic card. You can do that. And usually I use solid overlay graphics as intros and outros. So if I want to go live and sort of display an image before I come on screen, that's usually what I'll use the solid overlay images for, as well as like at the end of a broadcast, I'll say goodbye to my audience and then I'll, throw up that overlay that says, thanks for tuning in or whatever. There's a lot of flexibility and customization that's possible with being able to use this overlay section. Now, it's important to note that you can't design overlays from within the StreamYard Studio. So you do have to use an editing software or an editing website or something like that to design your graphics. And then all you have to do is upload them into your StreamYard account. Roy has a question from a bit ago, music in background. So there are a couple ways to stream music in the background. There isn't a button per se in the StreamYard Studio, but you can bring in background music if you use an audio mixer like Loopback or Voice Meter or something like that. You can bring your music directly into your broadcast. And we have a couple of help docs on that as well if you go to the StreamYard help page. But another thing you can do if you don't want to invest in an audio mixer or sort of venture into that territory is you can just put on music on your phone and feed it in through your microphone. It might not be the most professional way to do it, but I've definitely done that before for a sense of background ambiance, and it's worked pretty well. So there are different options that you have. Okay, how do you share video in the course of an interview without affecting the audio? Great question. So the next section actually in the brand tab is the video clips section. And this is where you can upload pre-recorded video content directly into your StreamYard account. And then to display it during your live stream, you just click to display and your microphone automatically will mute so that you can play the video. If you upload your content to the video clips section, it'll automatically play the video and the audio of that video when you click to display it. Now, Dana has not shared the audio of her screen share through the broadcast, so that's why you can't hear the audio from her videos right now. But for example, if I played a video, I'll play one for you right now, and it automatically brings the audio and the video into the stream. So I just clicked to display that and then clicked to remove it. And so that is one option. There's another option I want to go through, and we can go through it right now. I usually wait till the end, but this is relevant, I think. So the thing about video clips is that they have to be shorter than 10 minutes in length in order to upload them directly to your StreamYard account. So that does limit you in a sense if you do want to share longer clips. However, we have this video file sharing feature at the bottom of your screen. So at the bottom, there's a share button. And when you click on share, it gives you this option to either share your screen or to share a video file. So if you have a video that's longer than 10 minutes, you can actually play that video file directly from your computer, and it'll also automatically bring in the audio of that video, which is a great option because it doesn't limit how long the video is, and it also doesn't limit how big of a file the video is. So it just comes into the studio, and you can control the audio, you can control the scrubbing, you can scrub through the video, pause, play, etc., all from within the StreamYard Studio. So those are your two best options for sharing video content. And you can even make it look or appear as if it were live because you have that option to full screen the video file. So that's a really cool option as well. Nina says, where do we find the specs for graphic aspects? Great question. So right next to, see that video clip section that Dana's showing, there's a little question mark. And if you hover over the question mark, it'll tell you all the specs. And this is the same for overlays as well. There's a little question mark that you can get the specs for. Same for logos. Like all of the info is inside your account next to each section. And it'll tell you all of the tips and specs for each graphic that you want to use. Okay, the source of this ticker, I'm from my website. The source of this ticker is from my website. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Dana, do you happen to know what this comment means?
I'm thinking like maybe, can I put my website in the ticker?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking, CMT?
You absolutely,
let us know.
Let us know what you mean, but you absolutely can put your website in the ticker. It won't be clickable. That's the only thing. When you add a ticker, it's not clickable on the screen. So you want to make sure that it's either a short website or a short URL or something like that. But see how this ticker is not, you can't like click a link, but it is okay to put your website down there just to promote it. And if it's short enough, people can just type that into their browser. So I hope that answers your question. There is a tiny question mark above each tile in the brand section of the studio that gives upload information for each. Yes, you're right, Nadine. Thanks so much. Thanks for being here, by the way. Nadine also is a StreamYard employee. We love her. Okay, Ali says, is there a benefit to sharing a longer video via share file versus using OBS with StreamYard? It kind of depends, Ali. I would say, like, if you're only using OBS to share longer videos, then I would just use the share video file feature instead of doing the whole OBS integration, because it's super easy to just bring in video files from your computer and integrate those with your live stream. There's no need for OBS in that sense. But if you're also using OBS for other like graphics and stuff like that, then it might be worth it for you to keep using that integration. But now that we have added this video file share feature, in my opinion, it's way more user-friendly, and just like simpler and more streamlined to only have to run one thing on your computer at the same at a time, right? And then you can share that video file directly from your desktop. Can we control microphones of guests in guest stream mode? Yes, you can. So you have, as the host, you have the ability to mute your guests, unmute your guests, and then you can also adjust their mic volume. So, Dana, can we get a visual of that? We might have to wait until Dana invites herself into the stream as a guest, and then I'll show you how you can control your guests' audio settings. But yes, there are certain things you can control as the host. Okay. And we'll get a guest in the studio in just a moment. Oh, Dana's already on it. So Dana invited herself into the stream as a guest. And if you click that's too fast. If you click the 3 dots at the corner of the guest's thumbnail image, see those 3 dots there? you have some options. So you want to click Edit Mic Settings, and then you can adjust their mic volume. So you want to uncheck the automatically adjust mic volume, and then you as the host have control over their volume. So if your guest happens to come in and their mic is too quiet, you can adjust it there. Okay, I'm running low on time, so I need to really focus and get through the rest of this so that we can have our Q&A time. Okay, so we almost got through all of the brand tab. The last thing, second to last thing, is the background section. So the background section, if you look at Dana's screen, she has like a blue background behind both of those webcam boxes. And you can upload custom images to replace that. So she has selected a blue one, but she can also upload something else or choose another option that she's already uploaded. And you see how it just helps bring everything together. Sort of like, who was it before? It was Anna that said the lighting matches her color that she chose. But now look at, she's added that background and everything looks just so matchy-matchy, very cute, very cohesive, very branded, right? So the background just allows for that much more customization. It doesn't replace your actual webcam background. It just sits at the back, if that makes sense. Yeah, when Dana's on by herself, it's not going to replace anything behind her. But if she has, her and another guest, or her and a screen share, or something like that, then you get to see that pretty background. Like we have the navy blue with the bubbles one behind us. And it's really up to you on what you want to upload. All right. Last thing in the brand tab is the display names. So if you want to turn off the display names, you can do that. So it's just a really clean broadcast, or turn them on. It's up to you. I like to have them on because I like my viewers to know who I am, who my guest is, etc. Nina says an underlay. Exactly. So the background's just like an underlay. It just lays, underneath your video boxes. Okay. Thanks. You're welcome. Maximum guests limit. Yes. Great question. So in the free plan, you can have 10 people in the studio and 6 of those 10 on screen. In the basic plan, you can have 10 in the studio and all 10 on screen at a time. And in the professional plan, you can have 12 in the studio and 10 of those 12 on screen. So we'll drop the doc for that because I know I just zoomed through those stats, but those are the maximum guest limit for each one. Annika, did I miss your question? Just 2 question marks. If I missed your question, feel free to repost it so I can answer it. Okay. Moving on. So the next section in the buttons on the right-hand side is the private chat. This is where you can message with your guests who are inside the studio. The reason this is handy is because once you go live, you're not able to talk to your guests because the broadcast is live. So the way to communicate with guests inside the broadcast studio is to chat with them from this private chat section. And it's a great way to cue your guests and just let them know what's happening next in the broadcast. Now, this is not going to be seen by anyone. This is only private for inside the broadcast studio. The only thing your viewers see is that output screen where Dana has herself and her guest on screen. That's the output that your viewers will see. The rest of the white surrounding control buttons and all of that, that is only for you to see. Okay, so now that we've successfully set up our broadcast and we've invited our guest in, I think we are ready to go live. So once you're ready, go up in the top right corner and click the Go Live button. And then once you are live, you see a big message, you are live, in the middle of your screen, and you also get that red timer in the top left corner so that you see that you're live and you see how long you've been live. And then once you're live, you can add more graphics, you can change your graphics, you can do everything that we did in the setup process also while you're live. So you can change things, shift things, change the layout. That's what Dana's doing. She's showing comments. She's changing the layout a bit. She's adding a video file. There's a ton of things you can do while you're live. And it might seem overwhelming, and I hope it doesn't, but I know there are a lot of moving pieces, but Dana's just giving you a sense of what's possible. So, it doesn't have to be so complicated if you don't want it to. You can do a really stripped down, just sort of like static show. But there are possibilities for you to customize it and make it really dynamic and change the layout and change the colors and all of that. Okay. Paulette says, I don't know about this technology. I'm trying to use it. Well, you're in the right place, Paulette. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comment section and I will do my best to answer them for you. Green screen background. Yes, so it is possible to use a green screen background, but you have to have a physical green screen set up behind you in your space. So Dana is trying to use the green screen background, but it's not working because she doesn't have a green screen. But if she did, this is where she would do it, in the settings section. Okay, CMT says, great, thanks. You are welcome. The guests just see the private chat option when going live. So the private chat option is available and viewable by the guests when you're live and then also when you're not live. So at any time inside the broadcast studio, you can use that private chat option and only you and your guests can see it. Okay, so once Dana's ready to end the broadcast, she just comes back up to that top right-hand corner and clicks End Broadcast. And then that will cut the broadcast on YouTube. And then she can give some feedback, good or bad. Now, if you go to the top right corner, there is a button that says links. And if you click on that button, you have two options. You can either view your broadcast on the platform you just streamed to, which in this case is YouTube. So you can review what it looked like, what the output was like, you know, what happened. It'll take you directly there. Or you can click to download your recording. And this is where you can get that audio file if the person who made the radio comment is still here. This is where you would do that. So you click download and then you can click to download both the audio recording, which is just that MP3 like what's it called? Like solo audio track without the video, or you can also download the individual audio recordings if you are on the Pro plan. That's a Pro plan feature. But if you want to like repurpose your audio, you can download those individual audio files and that can be really helpful to repurpose for like a podcast or for a radio station. The Mirror says, I was using another online forum, but it seems StreamYard is more professional for live streaming. I will switch now. Yay! That's so great to hear. If you need any support at all during your, switching process, your upgrading process, feel free to come into our live chat. We have agents live 24 hours a day. And I'll actually show you how to get there in just a second so we can show you that. Okay, so if you want to download, that's how to download. Pretty easy. Now, this is where at the bottom, if you run into any issues, you need some help, you have technical difficulties, come down to the bottom here to where it says having issues. Click on that. It brings up a little chat icon in the bottom right corner. If you click on the help icon, you can access an agent 24 hours a day. So if you click on that live chat button, type your message in there and then click start chat and you'll be automatically picked up by one of our live chat agents and your answer will be answered. So Louis just joined. We have about a 30-second response time, which is really exciting. Anna says, Louis in live chat was so helpful to me the other day. Great service. Oh, Anna, I'm so glad to hear that. That's fantastic. And thanks for commenting. We really, really value our live chat. It's super important to us. And we really worked hard to get it to the 24-hour-a-day mark because we know it's just very important that our support is available for you whenever you're streaming. So Louis comes in with an answer and troubleshooting tips, and it's right on the spot. So that's a great resource. We're here for you. We know that sometimes things go wrong or there's issues or whatever. We need to troubleshoot, and we are here to do that with you. Okay. Ali says, how many guests are viewable at once in the green room? Curious how much visual feedback presenters will have from others in the back end. So great question, Ali. For you as the host, you can see everyone in the green room. And it depends how many people you have and what the limit is. So again, if you're on the free plan, you can have 10 in the backstage. So you'll be able to see all 10. And then you can put 6 of those 10 on screen at a time and switch people out. On the basic plan, you can have 10 in the studio, and you can add all 10 on screen if you'd like to do that. And then in the pro plan, you can have 12 in the studio and add 10 of those 12 at a time onto the screen. However, if people are logged in as a guest, they can only see themselves. So that is probably what is going to answer your question. I think that's what you mean. You as the guest can see everyone, but each guest who's logged in can only see themselves, and then they can see whoever's on screen at a time. So they can't see the backstage area the same way you can. I hope that helps. Okay. Oh, Nina, I think I missed this question. For the 4 hours of recording, does that mean per broadcast? Yes. So if you do 6 broadcasts, up to 4 hours of each of your broadcasts would be recorded. Yes. And you can broadcast an unlimited amount of times. Okay, so I think we're officially in this Q&A session. So if I missed any questions, feel free to please drop them in the comments section if anything final is coming up for you. Nina says, thanks. You are welcome. And it's our live Q&A time. I hope that was a helpful walkthrough of the platform. I find it can be a little daunting to explore a platform all by yourself if you haven't used it before, or you have no idea like how it works. So that's why we created this webinar, and that's why we do it each week, because I think it can be really helpful to just get an overview of how to do it and what the possibilities are even in using each of the features that StreamYard offers. We try to make the platform super user friendly, and I think that we stay true to that, but even so, I think it can be really daunting sometimes when you're starting with an entirely new platform. Namira says, very informative webinar, appreciated. You're very welcome. Thanks for tuning in and for giving your time and your attention. All right, any final questions, you guys? We do have about 7 minutes left if we need to use them. Otherwise, we can end early. I think the last thing that I want to say, if there aren't any further questions, we do have one from Lola. Just a second. I will answer that. Is, like I said before, we do have that 24-hour live support. So at any time, you can join our live chat, which can be found at streamyard.com/contact. And then, of course, you can also find the live chat link from inside the broadcast studio, too, like we showed you. But at any time, feel free to hop into our live chat, or you can even email us if you have an issue that's a little less urgent or whatever. We do check our email every day, and we are very prompt with our responses. But if you need an immediate response, feel free to go into that live chat, because that's instant. We also have email if it's just sort of a less urgent inquiry. Okay, Lola says, what kind of apps can I use to convert my iPhone to a webcam? So one app that is really great is called Camo. And Camo is specifically for iPhones at the moment, but I think actually you can also use it with an Android now. I think they expanded that. But it's called Camo, C-A-M-O. And it's an app on your phone that also makes your iPhone camera into a webcam that you can then select as your webcam input on your computer in order to use your phone as a webcam. So that's one. And then there's also another one called Epocam, E-P-O-C-C-A-M. And that can be used on either iPhone or Android, I believe. And that one's pretty popular, and you can use that with StreamYard as well. So those are the two apps that I would probably personally use. Camo, but I've also used Epocam in the past, and it worked pretty well. So it's up to you. And then there are also a bunch of other ones, but those are the two that I'm familiar with. Okay, well, I think we're going to end this webinar 5 minutes early. Thanks for joining me on this lovely Thursday afternoon. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Again, if you do have any more questions, join the live chat. You can ask for me, and I'll do my best to jump on with you and answer any questions you have. Oh, we do have one last one. Can I use a different background for my personal space without a green screen? Unfortunately, no. So unless you have a green screen set up behind you, we don't have a virtual background option at this time. Hopefully we will in the future, but you do have to have a green screen or a blue screen or just like a green sheet set up behind you. It doesn't have to be fancy, but you do need that in order to replace your background. All right. Thanks again for tuning in, everyone, and we'll be back next week at the same time. If you want to join again and ask any other questions, we welcome that, we invite that, but otherwise, happy streaming, and we'll see you later. Bye.